Hello guys, welcome to the Game Tales. And I always say that if you haven't heard of Regal Tales, this game is by Cyrus Ross and on Patreon. I officially took me a while to get this game. Cyrus Ross is on Twitter. I'm at Twitter. I'm Twitter. Let's get to this game. I've been waiting for a long time to play this. Regal Tales. Yay! I'm such a nerd when it comes to furry games. There is seriously lost writer, producer, and stuff. Shh. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here, my child. We have a big day today, being the birthday boy and all. Already a year old, and you already a little fight in you. There, you can rest, my boy. The party will wait just for you. Sigh. You're still. I'm sorry, I'm so happy. You're still too young to understand, but at least you should know the face of your loving mother this day. Look over a ledge or statue. It's a good statue. A large garden lioness stands oversees the city. View from the garden. Her right leg is arched up with her long right arm resting on it. Her left leg is stretched out with her tail and her left arm resting beside it. Look, Naja, it's your son's birthday. Already a year old. Yeah, here's your mother, my boy. So great and powerful she was. She never let you go with that monstrous grip of hers. You're probably too young to understand it all. But it only feels right that you tell you who your mother was. What she was to all the people she inspired to pass. Her loving memory is the only gift she can give you today, my son. If only fate wasn't so twisted back then, I wish it didn't have to be a war for us to find each other. But it did. And she nearly killed me when we first met, if you can believe it. That war of ours. For your mother helped bring it into the world, this world was nothing but a slaughterhouse, filled for both riches and for power. Beforehand, each neighboring nation was at rope ends with one another, favoring their own over others. It was only through a strict trade route that kept every nation in check, until that bloody day. The very mountains that divided our land spewed fire from their peaks. All routes we all depended on were lost up in smokes. Even the very land around them shattered like glass and tore apart everything we built. Panic took hold of everyone's minds, both king and commoner alike. It didn't last long for riots to break out, for leaders to lash out on one another and deem their coming actions right. Kingdoms and dynasties alike banded together once the lines were drawn. Whether they were forged or enforced, everyone was desperate for an ally during those troubling times. Your mother, before the cataclysm shook our world, was a legend amongst her people. The, the, the Shaskarans, infamous for their barbaric leaps of strength in battle, found combat and power and might in their chieftains. From what I gathered, your mother was even considered a goddess to some in her tribe for her sheer power alone. Even before the Great War, your mother united all of the clans in her homeland into one big tribe, either by negotiating or aggressively negotiating. She never put herself before her people. She'd always fight for them or alongside with them if the call were ever made. If only the rest of the world thought like her. If only. She surrounded herself with allies that would do the same for her. The war room roared with thunderous applause and laughter. In the center of it all stood four deviant figures toasting one another. King Regard, a tremorous feat for our dear Baron Hartgrim. Not only did he preserve our encampment, also wiped out the entire Divine Region. Ha 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 ha! This is so funny. An elegant Wisa queen danced her fingers across the war map and knocked over every pawn she came across. She giggles with glee. Oh, she's pretty. Queen Natasha. The Southwest is exposed now. It'll be easy pickings for taking the riverfront from the Imperials. Everyone in attendance took pride in their latest victory with song and cheer, failing to notice the commotion outside their halls. Louisa Queen herself was too amused with her knocking over pawns to care. As pieces flung off the table, a bony-fingered hand littered with jewelry rings caught a piece, crafted as a lioness head. The elderly roaster, Baron Hookham, juggled the piece in bemusement. Bemusement. I don't know how to say that. Baron Hookham. Until they could only cost us few hundred subsequent tribesmen to take out 500 Imperials. Ha! Hookham sipped his goblet, unaware of the silence the room became. If silence breaks, his regular drops his goblet in shock. What? The rustling outside becomes more noticeable. An iguana bathed in religious garbs shudders out the revolution. Bishop Grum. You made no mention. You used Shankersman as the bait in your report. The Queen drags her head over the map with terror in her eye. Wasn't this Southern Shiska troops led by Juko? Dread filled the room as everyone stared at another. It's supposed to be a family-friendly channel, but not really. Okay, King. Shit. The cold dead silence of the room instantly broke from the sound of... Should I do knocking, or... I kind of want to kill people. Let's go with knocking. A hammering sound of metal on metal echoed the war room. Who's it? We are in a private session right now. Captain Alton, sir? The gem that loomed over the king's eye parted with relief. Alton, you awfully late. We all started celebrating without you. Guards! The Leopard King motioned to Sentinel. Ooh, cool, there's rhinos! Rhino guards to open the cast iron door for the captain. Both guards staggered back by the weight of the massive doors before swinging them wide open. As the lights from inside shed inside the dark halls, a figure of a male ran clattered in armor started to emerge. The ghastly night air crept into the war room, snuffling out any life that was precious held inside it at the time. Everyone inside choked once the door was fully open. In front of the ram's captain helmet was bashed in with pools of blood trickling through, all the while a massive red stain spread all over the doors. Wow. Captain Alton wallowed in his armor. Nearly 2 days of plea for help or even more than. A faint cry passes from him as the darkness outside directly sucks him in. He emerges instantly, flying directly onto the war map. Everyone becomes paralyzed with fear at the sight, even the guards. Then came the growling. Everyone returned to his or her gaze back at the entrance. The poor captain had flown through. In it stood a ferocious lioness, towering over the guards as if they were ants. Her fierce ember eye glared coldly at the frightened king. She began to approach him. It was only then that the guards snapped to and aimed their spears at her. She, however, couldn't care less. Her eyes were on everyone. Naja, we missed the party, you said. Naja! She pushed him out of the way, proceeding to where the captain laid on the war mat, gripping him at the scruff of his neck. She prompted his head up to her side. You heard that, Alton? Well, too late, it seems. How awful. I guess you were right about keeping your mouth shut. Too much talking just slows us down. She flings the day's ram back onto the table. Nobody speaks afterwards. The only sound that kept the room alive was the aching moans of the battered captain. Nash! A savage rage flooded the room with Nadia in the center of it. Center of it all. In a single swoop, the monstrous lioness took hold of the oak table by its end and swings it over her heads. Leper King ducked in time to miss it. It saved it for his two guards and the captain who flung across the room after impact. Nadia leaped after the king and strung his neck up by his cape with her bare fist. Ah! Unhand me, you Don't you dare give me orders, not after what you lot did. No, Naja. Despite what it looked like, we did everything we could to try and help your son Joku. The howling winds from the night sky cried out into the hallowed halls of the fortress. The brisk cold air finally found its way into the war room and shook everyone to the core. The instant the banner muttered the name of Naja's son. Naja lets go of the king and lets him fall. Her bloodshot eyes sliced through the air and aimed intently at the cowering rooster. Whilst Naja shocked her way into the baron, he frantically shot his gaze for his fellow allies, praying for any of them to vouch for him. But nobody did. The baron suddenly was stricken with pain and gasping for air. In that instant of seeking out aid from his colleagues, the lioness snapped her talons around the elderly rooster's neck. Naja hoisted Holcomb up against the wall, her eyes storming with rage and tears. Don't lie! Her grip around his neck tightened horrifically as Holcomb started to turn blue with his eyes bulging out. Alton told me everything. She slams into the tiled floor, leaving a massive crack in the center. Her fury gains bolts to everyone in the room now. You all had a part to play in the assault, and you did nothing! Now listen, my dear. We all had troops in the area. We all had to fill the advantage, and what you all decide to do behind my back. We had no other options, Najan. No options? No options? Causing a landslide and burying my men. My son was the only option you worms had. You. I should kill you all for this. Especially you. She pounces toward the fighting, fidgeting baron and slammed a mighty kick into his back. She's arched down with her fangs bared behind his neck. What did you say to Altanikin? Spare the archers and let the canyon do the rest. General Khan, that's enough! A bear claw snarled through Naja's shoulder and forced our strings to pull her around. General Khan, a stocky grizzly bear clad in silver armor plating, snarled at the lioness. Oh my god, this game is so awesome! However, a grim reminder sinks into his face as Naja snaps around and grabs him down at eye level. Remembering just how tall and barbaric-built she was, as she towers her full height. She is a full foot over him, growling intensely. Naja, listen, I know you're angry. Naja, snarling, puts emphasis on his words by tightening her grip on Holcomb's neck, causing him to squeak and pain. But this alliance needs him. You need him. He's been the one that has been keeping our trade sponsored and your clan fed. He's been giving you the resources your people have been desperately needing since this war began. Naja slowly settles her snarling as the bear talks sense into her. Her grip starting to loosen. Joku died with honor like his father. He sacrificed himself for the better good. Naja swiftly backhands Calm's muzzle, causing him to stagger back. She lets go of Holcomb to lean eye level with the general. Don't you dare speak of honor to me! Joku's father and his men were the first casual-like since this damn war begun. Naja grabs Corn by the scruff of his armored collar. I think you forget who it was that protected your ass when you were cheated with your king. The bear gripped hold of the lioness wrist to pry him off him. If you think wars can be won with honor and brute strength alone, then you are living in a fool's dream. Wake up, we all lost something here. Not just you. The general leans in to match your heavy gaze. If an opportunity arises, good soldiers must be ready to accept the risk that this war gives. The general's words are choked out of him as Naja single-handedly grips and hoists him into the air by the scruff of his collar. She brings him to a full eye level. Now, not his. And grab throat. That was hell. Grappling and throwing boulders on them as part of the deal. Did they know? Were they given a warning to this risk? Calm, glaring eyes broke away from Naja, unable to talk himself out of the situation at hand. Naja takes Colin's silence and gulps back the harsh reality she was given. She tosses the general against the wall. Colin braces himself against the stone as he gains his footing. Naja had her back to him now. You fucking High Lords might treat your men differently, but my clan is my family, not some pawns to be discarded. She begins to walk towards the door. She was tired of the nonsense and lies she was being told. Colin barks out. Naja, where do you think you're going? We're not finished here. To the vanguard with my men. Unless you webs, I don't intend to sit on my ass as this war goes on. Naja scoffs under her breath while glaring at the unconscious Rhino guard she previously knocked down. Pathetic. Harlan chokes and reaches on the table. He started towards the general. General, arrest this fiend. I want that savage whoop. In an instant, an armor-clad rhino slams into the frail rooster and knocks him off his feet. The surrounding group looks disquieting down before shooting their gazes to Naja. The lioness returns their shocked gazes with a mock concerned expression, shrugging. Word of advice, get some better guards. Just about anyone can walk all over them. Naja storms off over the remaining rhino guard, leaving the war room in a state of damages and dread. Naja soothed in her anger, she walks out the castle and down to the gate trenches. Wow, this is really getting good. I'd give this game 100 out of 100 right now. Even my dog's interested. Like, ooh, what you playing? Hi, Spudzy. Hey, Spudzy. Just a boy. Get toy. There you go, boy. Naja thrushes her way through on the looking guards, whilst exiting the central building. Her brooding composure left a sense of fear in her wake, causing every soldier to scramble away from her heavy gaze. Several guards Naja encountered, now seen with a sizable dent in their armor prior to her outburst, fled for their lives. Naja reached the main gate to the fortress. She glared up at the fence tower that operated the gate. After a brief moment, the impatient lioness rose to the top of her lungs. Open! The men of the tower jolted in fear before operating. The gate wheel, the massive iron gate, rocked open, greeting Naja to the settling red sun her clan parked outside. A large gathering of barbaric animals, tigers, gorillas, vipers, vultures, etc., greeting Naja's with eyes eager for the next order. Oh my god, there's a wolf! I love wolves! Yay! Oh my god. Zuda, a battle-torn, elderly wolf with scars across his face, stood next to Naja's primitive horse. He looked at her with great concern, as did everyone else, though he alone saw a distressing look on Naja's face, the look of defeat. Naja, how did it go up there? Should I prep my men for it? Naja leaped onto her horse's saddle with ease, roaring to her clansmen. We're heading out! Now! No one questioned Naja's orders. Swiftly turning behind us, her horse galloped away. Naja and her tribe ventured out towards the wasteland, drifting away from the fortress. After an hour of riding in, their view of the fortress was lost. Nadja and her clansmen stopping dead in their tracks. Nadja leaped off her horse and desperately looked for something to focus her rage on. To her demented delight, she saw. Let's go to the tree. She storms out to a nearby roaring tree, nearly 15 feet tall. Face balled up, Nadja pulled back before bursting her arm through the tree. That's gotta hurt! Gripping her claws into the bark, she lifted the tree out of the ground, roots and all. She's got some strength! Wow! I remember it saying they were barbaric, something like animals or something like that, but wow. Slamming it to the ground, she frees her arm and tears it in half, tossing it into the tree line. Nadja's fists began to tremble. The rage within began to engulf her body and soul. Grah! They call us savages. They call us primitive, expendable pawns. Nadja begins to go in a frenzy fit, fighting the air and lashing out on the top of her lungs. They take everything and find no empathy for the soldiers. For us! They took my son. She prowls into the group, pointing out into everyone in anguish. They took your Maska and your Rirai and their Lear. They took their lives and felt no loss to them. They all just laughed. The group stares at her in silence, feeling the weight of her words burrow into them. She started to choke up with tears beating down her muzzle. 5 years. 5 years we've been fighting in the battles, doing the dirty work instead. Still we are seen as the grunts to these highborns. Nadia glared out into the direction of the fortress, points vigorously towards it. They sit on the ivory thrones, claiming all of our glory, all of our sacrifices in the name of the meaningless titles. The shit legacies with no work put in. Nadia turns to her man. She snarls and spit a very thought to the highborns. They wish to craft this world in their image. Legacies filled with false heroes and pitiful parades showing off the glorious military might. Everyone scoffs and discusses at the notion. And we are supposed to accept it? 'Cause they have a special blood. Nadia takes a stone and tosses it into a fortress direction, disappearing into the night sky. I'd be damned if history gives them that pleasure, let alone this world allows them that privilege. If anything goes to be remembered about this accursed war, it's be every man, woman, and child who fought to survive, not those pieces of shit. The group of warriors start to roar up a storm along with her monologue. This war, it's nearly to its end. I can taste it in the air. And no kings. Queens are barren will steal away the glory. The collective roars of the group grew louder and barbaric to her decrease. Nadja perches herself onto a hillside while addressing her men. I'll hang myself before I allow you all to be forgotten after the end of this war. To never have your name remembered all you've made yourselves in the battle. Worcester. For every babe we birth, a legend gets born. It is our right in life to be one. The clansmen begin to chant and bang their weapons in uproar. Marveling at their leader, Narja points to her settling sun. The Emperor is on the move, and will be the first to greet his royally groomed ass. I love her. Oh my god. I personally will take his head and show this pathetic nation who the true victors are. Who to never trifle with. The group cheered in a massive roar for the chieftain. They eagerly chant Nadja's name. Who are we to this world? Are we pawns? The troop yelling, No! We are warriors. We do not breed pushovers. We're the Shaskarans. The world will remember this day, the day when it was Shakran that exposed the Emperor. It was the Shashkran that dragged his tail out of his hiding hole. And it was Shashkran that delivered the fatal blow to this war. The militia of animal warriors burst into savage roars and hear the leader's words only to be snuffed out as Nadja shouts. Now go to bed. We have a long march ahead of us. Tomorrow we will claim what is rightfully ours. Oh, it's actually purple face. Everyone in the group takes heart to the order and begin dismounting from the horses and sat camp. Naga's. Oh my god, I remember her from from one of the pictures. Naga swagged over to the female vultures and conversed with her in earshot. How far is your scratch? Checked him. Only a 2-day march, Naja. One if the horses keep up. Good. Naja released herself to move on before the female vulture blocks the path. But my scouts tell that his information is large. We might be talking siege weapons. Probably the only reason they're going so slow. Naja gives the vulture a thoughtful look. Doesn't matter, one way or another. From what I have planned, you'll get to him before he even uses them. But if they do, what then? We're on a high hit list. The Empire wants it out of the way. We're the only true threat to the Empire. If something happens to us, or people they might. The vulture lose sight of her word as Naja draped a comforting paw on her shoulder. She was relieved at the sight of her leader's reassuring gaze. Nothing is going to happen to our people. We'll get out of this on top. What are we again? The female vulture creaked out a small smile and nods. Naja firmly stares the vultures at eye level, pressing a clawed index finger into the bird's chest lightly. Just make sure it's us and only us knows about his whereabouts. Vulture nods and flies off, leaving Naja alone to oversee her men. Oh, that's cool. Silence swept the night air within the makeshift campsite, with only the light padding of chatter of guards and the crackling sound of bonfires breaking the peaceful night. Naja rested on a nearby branch, her right leg arched, an arm resting over it while her left then dangles off a branch. Sorry about that. Oversees the camp before gazing over a crescent moon. Naja closes her eyes, deep in thought, as she clutches her fists after reflecting everything from the day. No matter how badly she wanted to, crying wasn't an option for her. Aww, you can still care to cry. For a Shushkin, you live in the present, so never look back and dwell on the past. This is what she was brought up on, and as the leader of the entirely Shuskra, she needed to hold strong. But still. Oh my god. Mommy? Nadia ears perked up, her eyes turned up to the voice. Under the tree, a 7-year-old lioness peered up from his concern. Magina, what are you doing up? Ooh, sorry, wrong voice. Nadia reached up and uses her tail as a rope for Magna to climb up to her. Aww. She embraces her tightly in her lap. I can't sleep. I've been having bad dreams. Of your brother? Magna nods and looks up to her mother. Why do you have to die like this? I thought we were safe under the lookout banner. Nadia rubs the back of her daughter's head in a soothing comfort. This war brings out the worst in others, Mingna. Even cowards will desperately do anything to just survive, even if it means. Nadia paused. The sorrow she desperately tried to hold back filled her eyes, even chokes in her words. Balling her fist up, her nostrils still flaring from her seeping rage, it quickly subsides as Mingna chimes in. It's not fair. I know, dearie. I know. Nadia lightly licks upon Mingna's forehead before hungering her. But Mommy is going to end this world, once and for all. Mingna pushed away with tears in her eyes. But that's what I'm afraid of, Mom. What if you can't? Mingna looked away from her mother, too ashamed to now show her doubt to her mother. They say the Emperor is part dragon, that he breathes fire, and tears his swords in two. Nadia rubbed Mingna's cheek to soothe her worries away, giving her a comforting smile as her daughter holds onto her paw. I don't want to lose you too. A suddenly frown curves Nadia's muzzle before it snaps into a sly smile. What? You don't think I can bait some passing highborn? Aww. Aw, this is so cute. This is kind of a sad yet cute moment right here. Migna perked her gaze up to her mother, unsure how to react. This was her mother, after all. But the eerie sense of dread had already lost all sense of hope in her. Huh? If he's anything like the shit stains we follow, it'd be a cakewalk. Migna? I don't know how to say it. Magnina? Is it? Magina. It could be Magina. Magina bit her lip in concern. But Nadia holds her daughter tenderly by the shoulders and gazes softly to her. Did you forget who your mother is? It would have to be another world before I fall to some pesky highborn. Nadia cackles lightly to ease the tension for her daughter, and jokingly gestures around. And if he's anything like our royal pains, the only action he ever had in his life would be grooming his own balls. Okay, that was funny. I got the joke. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, let's get back to the game, guys. Magana cracks a smile after whipping a tear and giggles. Sounds pathetic if he's part dragon. Nadia lightly drapes a muscular arm around Magina's neck and pulls her into her lap. She extends her back claws out in front of her daughter. Well, it'll be good to know that he polished them at least, because once I take his head, I'm gonna take them as well. She's savage! She's savage! It'll give you something to play with. God. Oh my god. This is so messed up, but that's kind of funny. Migna lightly elbows her mother with a gleeful laugh. Mommy! Nadia laughed along with Magina hungered her tightly with snipping at her daughter's ear in response. What? I suppose I can just pin them to his head instead of once it's on a pike, ha ha. She's got a dark sense of humor, but she's savage. Oh my god. Magina snickers along with her mother as she rests up against her. Me will put some bells in them. Make them jingle when we parade around our village. The daughter's savage too. That's my girl. Excellent idea, Magina. They're singing like a chef's girl. I'm about to lose voice trying to laugh. Oh my god. Okay. Breathe. Nadia and Minga laughed at each other in comfort. Magina, her face out with her mother's lap, staring at the moon while wrapped in Nadia's two arms. I hope you win right away, Mom, and end all this soon. Nadia sighed, softly staring down at her baby girl, licking the back of her head. Hope. That's quite a gift to have, Magina. It's not a powerful thing to possess. Magina sighs tiredly. She hugs her mother's arms. Giving others hope is the most sincere way of having trust built on you. Not only do you give others something to look forward to in the future, but also carry their dreams, their goals, their life with you, where you give them hope. Nadia lightly grooms the back of Mingana's head, but it can be even the most devastating weapon to have as well. Magina stared up at her mother. It's only this to give hope, but another to take it, to rip it away from them. All of their dreams shattered before them, humiliating them and leaving them in a mess of confusion before reality finally hits them. Nadia extends her arms, bearing out her claws. You dangle hope in their face and crush it right in front of them, crippling them as their hopes and dreams are lost. That, Magina, is something only deserving to your hated of enemies. That sounds pretty cruel, Mom. Nadia coiled her arm around Magina's neck and purrs. Nonsense. It's how I met your father, after all. Magina tilts her head up in confusion. What? Now just starts to rock Magina back and forth in her embrace. He thought he defeated me in the duel when he went for a finishing blow. I countered him and finally showed him how much I was holding back. You should have seen the look on your Bella's face. He looks so adorable, frustrated, and bruised up. And he took you as his mate even... No, I'm gonna reread that. Let's reread that. And he took you as his mate after humiliating him like that? Why would he do that? What makes you think he settled for me? Oh my god. Here's the thing. When you see something you don't like, don't pussyfoot around with it and wish it to happen. You gotta take life by the balls and work down till the tears for the taking. Oh my god, I felt embarrassed to read, kind of. You do the same when you find yourself a mate someday as well. I'm certain of it. Naja boots Magina's nose lightly. She giggles softly before drifting off to sleep, whispers into their ear. Then you can give me your hopes and dreams, my precious little moonlight. Silhouettes of Naja and Magina meld within trees and face the moonlight sky. A punch that sat in the center of the lavish imperial tent, lined with war trophies, weapons, and trunks full of books. There sat the lion emperor. I can read, I promise you. Lion Emperor, Solitaire Valar, clad in his black and red armor with a cape lined with red and gold. His long, well-capped black hair hugs his head down to his shoulders. The Emperor scribbled down notes as if while eating his morning breakfast fruit. No, give me your fruit! His head perked up as he hears the sound of war horns being sounded from his own camp. A large, blue-furred bison decorated in iron armor invites himself into the tent. Panic dripped over his face. Noise! I love these characters. I seriously love these characters. I love how they're made. Oh my god, I just love each character. And I'm not saying that just to be nice. This is an honest review right now. This is my opinion. I love these characters. I love the aspect, the personalities. It really suits them. Oh, stop it. Behave, doggy. Doggo! Would you sit, doggo? Doggo! Sit. No. Sit. Sit. My lord, an enemy war party has been spotted from the east. They're heading this way. The Emperor turns from his chair with a puzzled look on his face. Oh wow, he looks nice. What banners are they carrying? It's Shaskira, sire. The party is massive. I feel like I just messed up this entire voice line right here. The Emperor knocked his chair away as he stood and glared toward its battle map. Each faction was on his map was decorated with coins. How the hell did those bloody savages get this close to us? Well, that's the weird part, sir. The Emperor dashes out of his tent. So Solaire's tent sat atop of the hilltop where he saw his man scrambling about. Ooh, that's beautiful. That's pretty. He trots over to a neighboring hill, being used as a scouting post to see the situation himself. He peers out to the morning sun and spots a small mass in the distance. It looks like they're walking toward us at the rate they're going. Perhaps they don't know about us being here? If they didn't, then that bloody horn probably tipped them off. Ooh! It's an owl. It's a pretty owl. I don't find that would have mattered either way, sire. Staying in the right to the slimy, built-haired harpy eagle. Oh my! And I said I was an owl. Here doesn't know animals. Dressed in a formal button-up military uniform. His ruby red feathers ruffle his head whilst he peers into a bronze telescope. Romeo. Oh, he's like Romeo, but Romeo. Romeo Pax. Looks as though they're ready for a skirmish. If that's the case, Lieutenant, get the ballistas armed and ready. Set them out around the perimeter in case they ambush us. The Emperor's words get cut off and a screeching of a hawk pierces through the camp's commotion. A small group of hawks. Oh my god, I can't read. Tiredness must be kicking in. So sorry, guys. A small group of hawk soldiers swooped down to land. The head of the group dug his talons into the ground. He slid across the dirt, wearing a shimmering plaited gown of silver and blue. Threading a navy blue feather mailed hawk greets Salvatore with an armed snake. King Samuel, I came in as soon as I promise you I can read. I came in as soon as my scouts reported in Solaire. Oh, I'm breaking character. That's so bad. What trouble did you get yourself into this time? Shrugged anxiously. Oh, that's bad. I may have to cut this video short because I can't really voice any more characters because I'm like getting tired because I have to work tomorrow. Oh, I didn't get to read that. I'm so sorry, guys. They all face out the incoming war party. They're rather put it slightly odd. The formation is all over the place. They have aviators and scout houses, but do not use them. They have the archers but dared not to attack us. They simply ignored us. Perhaps they claim to surrender? General Pack stares intensely into his telescope as they converse. Nothing all defense equipment is in front of the party, archers right behind them. He found that carriers had a Shiskara, the battle-hardened war clan, held no expression of fight on their faces. His brow arches once he spot the head of the one leading the pack. That might be falling from the trees, my lord. The feathered general hands the Emperor the telescope, directing his gaze to the center of the group. A massive lioness leaves the party while carrying a burnt orange banner with blood red move with claw marks etched in. The Emperor pulled the telescope away from his eye with a baffled look spattered across his face. I had no idea we can grow that big. Naja's clan has reached the edge of the forest. They halted their advance and grouped into one big wall of metal and muscle. Naja herself squatted down with her banner beside her. Zuda rode on horseback in front of her to relay commands. A crude smirk curls over her lips as she is greeted with a sight of glimmering night bursting out into the forest on horseback. Zuda holds out his arms to halt the clan from attacking the knight. The knight finally reaches them at earshot. Ooh, it's a knight in shining armor, a mysterious knight in shining armor with piercing blue eyes. Nice. That's close as you're allowed to come near my majesty's army. You may discuss your terms of surrender here. Avery's clansmen, including Naja, howled in laughter toward the knight's cry. Ha! I was willing to talk, alright. Just not to some scrawny tin can. Ouch, that's a burn right there. Tell his majesty we're here for a face-to-face discussion only. Scrawny? How dare you? Have you any gist as to whom you're addressing? A dim-witted look hovered his face as he looked to his fellow tribesmen for advice, but he knew anyone better. Not even Nadia seemed to show any concern. Deep down, however, she was loving every second of it. Toying and making fools out of enlists to light the Empire was a simple pleasure in life for her. I am the Emperor's most entrusted missionary. His swiftest true liaison? A pox towards my words and a pox towards his. I wonder what that means. Zuda. Oh boy, you're one of these characters, huh? Fine. Just who might my shiny messenger boy be? You, my simple friend, may refer to me as Sir Jeremy. I remember him. In the heat of his build-up, Jeremy stooped his head out of the helmet and revealed his face. His scruffy gray hair pops out of his place, his gray tiger fur glooming with the rising sun. Stern silence swept over the clan to mention his name. Zuda broke the silence by preaching to his people. My friends, my companions, I ask you to bow your heads immediately. We are graced by Jeremy. A collective roar of laughter burst through the fields of the tribe. Even Naja was found rolling on the ground. She is straight up savage! They are savage! Sir Jeremy found a little amusement at this. He simply brushed us off as simple-minded barbarians laughing at their own petty jokes. You're... After a good-hearted laugh, Naja cued this as her time to step in. She bolts up and leaps her feet, now towering beside her banner. Carrying her colors with pride, she strode up to Jeremy. At first, Jeremy didn't see much of a threat over Naja once she stood from afar. She starts to get closer to him, her true size starts to show. He becomes awestruck at her massive build. Naja approaches along the side of him. To his bewilderment, she was still staring him down, regardless of him being on horseback. She was massive, powerful, and widely alluring to him. A hit. Oh, I see where this is kind of going. A hint of blood starts burning across Jeremy's face. He was at loss for words as being stricken with frightful and oh my god. Oh my god. I kind of get the feeling where he's going with this right now. Ruth thought to the lioness before him. It was only after Naja staking her banner to the ground he came to. Do you speak for this people, madam? A crooked smile carved its way across Naja's maw. She could easily tell what was going through Jeremy's mind right now. Yes. Oh, I kind of get through this is going. I kind of somewhat get what this story is going. A little bit, just a little bit kind of now. Throughout history, short-skinned women have been notorious for using their female assets as a personalized weapon to charm the simple-minded. Nice! I should do that. that was a joke. That was a joke, guys. I'm just gonna get back to the game. Jeremy was no exception. Ah! I kind of want to flirt. You guys know how I am when it comes to games like this. As this is my first time, I had played Major Minor on my old channel, but that old channel is not going to be having anything on it for a while. This is going to officially be my new channel for games and everything. So you know what? Let's flirt with him. From where his eyes were staring at, keeping his full attention was it up to be difficult. All I could do is laugh at this. Already she knew Jeremy would be putty in her fingers. Gripping the shaft of her banner close to her side, Naja knelt down to greet Jeremy's wondering eyes once more. Her own eyes fluttered gleefully with a adoring smile brushed over her face. Ay, ay, ay! Hey, I am Naja, a Shaskara, and I am here to gain an audience with your emperor. She leaned forward to plant a colossal paw on his shoulder plate, heaving her chest out towards him. Her robust hips arched out for him to gaze at while her tail swayed hypnotically from side to side. So could you be a dear beckon him for me, please? She could feel the young tiger shaking his armor. She could feel his heartbeat racing through his shimmering plate mail. As much as we enjoy peace talks, His Majesty isn't here, but if you would wish for a ceasefire and wait for messages to be delivered, between the times Jeremy try to act... Shit. Shut the fuck. Oh, I must be tired. What time is it? Oh, it's 9:16. Alright. Anyway, if you guys want to hit me up on Twitter for more, you can also spam my Twitter. As I am freaking getting tired and I'm fixing to take a break. And this will probably be all. Like for more if you want to see more of Regal Tales. I seriously am loving this game right now. It's funny. You could Like when one point when she said she lost her son because of this war, I literally felt like crying. That this game will get you in your feels. So let's read this last line. That's it. Naja broke him off by leaning temptingly close, her eyes widening with pools of affection sprinkling out. Where's autograph? Oh wait. Just how long are we talking, sweet night? My people have traveled a great distances. Wait, talk top up. The gray fur around Jiminy's face bleeds into a blistering shade of pink. Okay, so we can't save it. Alright, that's it for the day, guys. It is 9:16. Like, oh my god, I gotta go to bed because I have work in the morning. If you want to see more of Regal Tales, don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out Cyrus Lelos is creating Regal Tales on Patreon. Please go check him out. He's really awesome. This game is so fun, and it is available for download. I will not have the link in the description, sadly, because you will have to go to Amino to find it. So, thank you. Peace, love, fuzz.